Thanks for staying with us, and you're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. We now have joining us for an update of the People's Democratic Party's internal rumblings and a conversation on the polity in general. Prince Muyiwa Fafowora, a PDP chieftain, a former governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress in Lagos, who is now solidly backing former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to emerge as Nigeria's next president after the 2023 elections. Great to have you, Otuba Fafowora. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, the campaigns will start in, next week, really, for the presidential,
12 days.
election. But the PDP still seems troubled. You do not have one voice or one house as we speak. And as somebody who's from the Southwest, it looks to me like a majority of the people here are saying that the only way for the Southwest PDP to work with Atiku Abubakar is if Ayu resigns as the chairman. Would that be your position, or are you advising Atiku in a different way?
No, that's not my position. And let me clarify one or two things you just said. There is no crisis in the party, and it's not that the majority of us in the Southwest want a change. I first want to clarify that.
You don't want a change?
If you were with us in Ibadan, Waziri Atiku Abubakar is now the leader of the party, and he made it clear to us that, look, it is achievable. And that's what I want to probably talk more about. It is achievable to get a chairman from the Southwest, but not at this moment.
Well, I mean, it's a tongue-in-cheek kind of, proposition, isn't it? I mean, for Atiku Abubakar to be saying it's achievable, and we're talking of a PDP that ab initio didn't respect its own guidelines as to, where the presidential candidate will come from. But then, yes, he has emerged as a presidential candidate. But then why will the chairman of the party still come from the north? I mean, people would think that it ought not to be, to be a no-brainer that he should step down so that you do not have the candidate and the chairman coming from the same...
It's unfortunate I don't have a party constitution here.
Okay.
You must understand, when we bring about the ESCO of our party,
yes,
we look at the 6 geopolitical zones in arranging that. And we actually have a convention to do that. So it will be troublesome for us at this moment when Nigerians are yearning for a change and we're worrying about changing our chairman. What we're more focused on now is the election. In 6 months, we will manage that and then win the election, and then we'll change the ESCO of the party. And that is the position of Waziri Atiku Abubakar.
It's very interesting that you said that there are no aggrieved members of your party, because, I mean, as you know, a lot of people have been talking. Only recently, Chief Bode George called for a southern chairman, and also recently, Governor Wike had accused Ayu of being, an ungrateful politician and a politician who is just there because he wants the 14 billion naira that is within the party. And he's also ready to have the party lose the election if he does not resign. What do you make of all of that?
Well, those are concerns of leaders. In politics, you have concerns. Let's take Chief Bode George. What Chief Bode George is trying to explain is that in the past we have these 6 very powerful positions that I'll quickly address. We have the president, we have the vice, we have the secretary to the federal government, we have the speaker. And that normally what we used to do in the past is to make sure that the 6 geopolitical zones keep one of those appointment. Yes. But our situation now is different. We're in opposition. And what we're looking at is first, how do we win? How do we win?
Yeah.
So we must first win and then go back to the old arrangement of what Chief Bode George was emphasizing.
No, but it was clear about the fact that for Atiku Abubakar to win, it will require carrying everybody along. And if a Bode George is saying that, Sheyi Makinde, who's the only PDP governor in the Southwest, is also saying that, yes, we are ready to work with you, but you can't have a northern chairman if you're trying to win. I mean, why is it so difficult for for your candidate to appreciate what they're saying.
That was a demand in Ibadan.
Yes.
And Waziri Atiku Abubakar responded to that. He said that is achievable.
But you are saying clearly that it won't happen until after the elections. That's what you're saying.
Well, I won't speak for Waziri, but I'm saying give us time. We need to face the task ahead of us. That is changing Nigeria.
All right.
For better governance.
Yeah, and that's going to lead me to my other question, which is going to trail these questions that have come preceded. What is it? Why is it so difficult to basically, everyone is saying this is what we want, or at least most of the members are saying this is what we want. Why the delay? If it is achievable, like you have said, what is the reason for the wait? Why not now?
I also want to correct that word, most of us. I don't think you're correct on that. It's not most of us, some of us.
All right, some is enough for it to be divisive.
And we need to be careful. We're facing an election. Now to come and we must also look at the legality of just changing someone that was voted into office. There is no act of misconduct against him. The majority members of the National Working Committee just passed a vote of confidence on the man. So, look, in politics, that's what we call an agree. An agree is when you lose election, you're bitter. And sometimes we need to kind of appeal to you, and over the time you will calm down. If you look at the aggrieved people, they're already in the presidential committee. And we're moving ahead. What we need to do now is to keep moving ahead.
All right. Can I just quickly do a follow-up to that? So you talked about the man himself. So we were referring to PDP National Chairman Ayu, who has also said he's not stepping down anyways. He has made that pretty clear. But of course, there are also views that he's quite divisive and polarizing. Let's get your take on these views. Is there any veracity to it? I know what you could most likely say, but where do those views come from?
Look, I don't want to speak for the national chairman. I want to probably speak for Waziri Atiku Abubakar, who has been preaching unity. Look, one of the 5 cardinal programs of Atiku is to unify the country. And the first step is to actually unify the party. If you just throw away Ayu, you're already creating another disunity. So what you need to do is a balance. Carry everybody along, and we'll go to the election, and by the grace of God, we'll win.
All right. So earlier you said that you are here to discuss, the reconciliation process within your party. Only yesterday, I believe that Emmanuel Adam and Governor Aminu Tambuwal met with the National Working Committee. I'd like your thoughts on what it is that they are actually trying to achieve.
That is the process. That is actually the process. In fact, the deputy chairman that is acting now was in the southeast talking to, I think, Governor Piazu and the governor of Enugu State. It's a process that we have a bigger task ahead of us and everybody needs to sacrifice. We've all experienced bad governance by APC, and what should be on the burner now is for the party PDP to come to the rescue of Nigeria and win election for Nigeria 2023.
Okay, you're trying to win an election, but then let's go back briefly to what Governor Seyi Makinde said in Ibadan, that you can't fix Nigeria as a party if you can't fix your internal issues. He was clear about that, and you are marketing former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as a unifier. If you can't unify the party, how will you be able to unify the country? That's part of what Seyi Makinde was saying. So my point is, if you've got an election to win, how can you win without Rivers and Oyo, 2 key PDP states? You know that Oyo won in 2019, against the prevailing circumstance in the Southwest. So if you do not succeed in bringing Wike on board, and you're talking about aggrieved personalities, and Seyi Makinde, who seems to be a core backer of Wike, is also saying that you just need to fix this issue, otherwise you lose. The same thing, the same thread of thought from Lagos State, which you have never won. Where, therefore, is the path to victory? If Rivers is shaky, if Oyo is shaky, and Lagos is a no-no, where's the path?
Oyo is not shaky because after that statement, we were all in Governor Sheyi Makinde's residence. Like I told you, ongoing consultation, talking behind the scenes. We're working together.
His demands were clear. And it's not about removing Ayu. It's about asking Ayu to do the needful to step down. And Wike also said that a promise was made. Atiku Abubakar cannot deny that. He said, okay, if that's the point, if a northerner emerges as the candidate, and he did emerge, that it's a no-brainer that Ayu will have to step down. Why is it difficult?
He said it's achievable. Achievable means we'll look at it and then the Southwest will come together and demand. And you know what is so funny about this is that when we wanted the chairman to come from the Southwest, yes, it's the same people that are saying how you should go that truncated that. There was a time we asked them to give us Chief George to be the national chairman of the party. Yes. They refused.
But the issues were different then.
So now why is it so different? When the right time comes, the Southwest will demand for its right.
How are you able to win this presidency, though, with APC at the moment having 23 states, if we concede that, Osun is gone, and then with the movement that Obi is coming with? You saw at least two of the polls that came out last week, saying categorically that if popular votes were to hold today, Peter Obi will emerge as winner. Again, I ask you, where is the path to victory for your candidate?
First, the first thing they were trying to do, the unity they were preaching, bringing everybody together, and then the security of this country. Look, if you don't have unity, if you don't have security, the thought in that all of us yearn for, which is economic prosperity, you can have that. So what we're trying to do is, we've governed this country for 16 years. Yes, we made mistakes, but Nigerians know that first, if you don't have unity in the country, you can't develop. I can travel to maybe Borno now. I'm afraid. I can't go to Zamfara. That's not how you run a country. Nigerians must be free to move around. That's what we're preaching. Well, the first thing on our program.
That's a unity issue, though. It's a security issue.
Yes, it's part of what created these security problems.
What created it?
What created it?
No, you answer that.
What created it?
You see, the last government has been very, very parochial and nepotic.
The current government?
Yes. We complain about it, that this is not how you govern the country. You can't take the entire security structure from one zone of the country. Everybody now feels jittery. They did it for 6-7 years. People now start looking at a tribe as part of the problem. Now we've caught people who are not Fulanis, who are actually dressed like Fulanis, to kidnap people. So you must see that once you don't have unity, you can't develop.
So it's interesting that you cite in this, using because one could say that mirrors what's going on in your party. So some people are saying, we want somebody from this extraction, because now there's an imbalance. Yeah. You're relating it to something very, abstract, but I see a relationship there. What do you say to that? Because that's one of the issues that these guys are talking about.
We've said it's achievable. I'm from the Southwest.
Yeah, it's one thing for something to be achievable, and it's another thing for you to move the needle.
Yeah.
So
the legal framework, you can't just say chairman go.
But isn't it in your constitution, in your party's constitution, for the rotation to occur in that manner?
Not necessarily rotation. Right. It's more level inclusion. Find a way to include everybody. If the chairman comes from the north, find a way to make sure that the secretary comes from the south.
Yeah.
But that's not the law. It's just a balance. That's not the law.
The law of what? Are you
yes, you see, what is supreme? What is supreme is the Nigerian Constitution. Whatever we do in our party is just a guide.
Yes, but in the interest of unity, which is the key word here.
A guide. And if you are not careful, where you perpetuate injustice against a member, you will not take that your guide to a court. That look, 36 states and the federal capital elected me as the chairman of the party. They've not accused me of, what do we call it, maybe socializing with another political party. And all of a sudden they remove me. That will create another problem for us. But after election, win or lose, let me clear that, win or lose, Atiku Abubakar still remains the leader of the party. We might do a mini convention and do that arrangement.
If he loses, how does he retain that
Yeah,
position
because
as the leader of the party?
it's always a tradition because you need another person to actually be the flag bearer. So I'm looking at both sides. If we win, it's easier. He will be the leader of the party. Then we do a mini convention, and then we do our normal arrangement of the chairman of the party come from the southwest, the secretary go to the north. But right now we can't just say, you chairman leave. What has he done that he should leave? I mean, you could explain to me.
No, but what people will say, I mean,
Not-
just a moment,
not-
what people will say is that if you can't respect your own constitution, which you seem to be dismissing as a guide, as a mere guide, how can people trust you to respect the constitution of the country?
That's what we're saying, that we've had a situation like that. A candidate emerged, the chairman of the party was from the north. Of course, the argument now that we had a president.
Yes.
But we had also a candidate from the north, late Yaradua.
Yes.
And the chairman of the party was actually from the north, from Kogi State. And we went to election with that, and then we rearranged ourselves.
Right. I think it's very important for us to be very clear about the fact that this is not an indictment or an attack in any way on Iyorchia, are you? And we completely understand where you're coming from in terms of, oh, it's going to be completely unfair to just pull someone out. Let's make that very clear. It's not personal. But that being said, this is about the interest of unity for your party, right? So the same way you say it's achievable for you to, get through elections and then maybe bring somebody else in, why in the interest of unity can't this be the reverse? Where you bring what people want now, and after the elections, reinstate him. How about that?
So keep watching. It's achievable. Maybe the next 2 weeks.
That is a blanket statement that bothers me.
Yes. Maybe the next 2 weeks. Maybe the next 6 months.
Yeah.
The Waziri Atiku Abubakar has been very clear. It is achievable. We don't want to rock what we're doing now. We have election. And we are positioned. And we need the right frame of mind to go into that election. So it is achievable. He said it in Ibadan. Say, yes, this is achievable. And I believe him that he's working on the Southwest getting that position. And, why are we so much worried about the chairman? The first lady is from the Southwest. It's a marriage of over 50 years. Is that not unity?
We don't know if she's playing any major role within
course,
the party.
Of course, behind the scenes, of course.
We don't even know if she's a
I'm
card
very proud
carrying
of
member
her. She's from Lagos,
of the
from
party.
Osun State. So we have that already.
Yeah.
The first 3 children were actually born in Lagos. They speak Yoruba very well. So we're proud of that. We want people to know that. We're just asking, if we get the chairman, if we get the chairman, it's just like Oliver Twist asking for more.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's talk about how you will approach the election. Yes, you now have a campaign council. The governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwa, is the DG. Governor of Akwa Ibom, what's his name? Emmanuel, Udom. Is the chairman of the council. And then you have this, more than 300 people. Even there's a role for Wike in all this. How strategic is that in confronting the ruling party, APC, which is, obviously very formidable, and then the third force that looks so like it's a movement that neither of you big two parties, as envisaged. How do you think that there's a pathway for PDP in clinching the presidency?
Look, we might be in opposition. I still believe we're the largest party in this country.
APC has 23 states.
Well, thank God we now have beavers.
You are echoing what the obedience are saying, that thank God for beavers.
Yes. But don't forget the structure to win election.
APC has a bigger structure.
No, I don't believe. APC is a government, not a bigger structure. We're going to unify the country. Look at what we're doing. Our candidate, Atiku Abubakar from the north, our vice, Okowa from the south, a Muslim Christian ticket. There's a balance. We're working towards what every Nigerian will be proud of. And by the grace of God, we're going to win this election.
All right.
Oji, we're gonna...
No, I'm actually done because you're not forthcoming with your answers in terms of, you know, having, a lot of the questions we've asked you about Iyorchia Ayu stepping down. Why hasn't he agreed to step down?
I've given you reasons.
There are no reasons really at this point. But like Abi said, it's not a personal attack. We are not going to push further on the question. And I guess we'll have to wait to see what your party is going to do at the end of the day.
And I promise you, when we get to that bridge, I'm going to come back and tell you we're going to change.
Okay.
It might not be now, but like he said, it's achievable.
All right.
How's your party and your candidate faring with the so-called owners of Nigeria at this time? Maybe we should cite the example of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Is he with you? Is he with your candidate?
I think Baba's position, he said, is not an elderly statesman. And I think he wouldn't get that much involved in partisan politics. He's not father to all of us, father of the nation.
A lot of people would think that his body language seems to suggest a fresh idea, you know, a fresh person, you know, from those who, you know, reading his body language.
Who is a fresh idea? It's not, who is a fresh idea?
Well,
There's no fresh idea.
People will argue that neither the candidate of the two big parties, you know, will be considered to be a fresh idea.
The third force that you're talking about was our vice president. So
what's your vice president?
Yes, candidate.
How, in what way?
Obi was our vice president candidate. He was vice twice.
So you don't think he's fresh?
Is that fresh?
You don't think
There's
he's
nothing
fresh?
fresh about that. It's a breakaway.
A lot of youths will think that is fresh.
And we have a lot of youth in our party too.
They've not been very vocal online.
Yeah, maybe we're more structured.
All right. Otuba Fafowora, we want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So it's time now for a short break, and when we come back, we shall be linking up with renowned infectious disease expert, Professor Muyiwa, for his position on Nigeria's new unenviable status as the greatest source of monkeypox fatalities in Africa. What needs to be done? Join us in a brief minute.